Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 3, and today I'm going to be giving you part 25 of What If Naruto Was Neglected with Jashin sealed inside of him. Remember to get this one to 100 like as usual, share this to all of your friends in your social media platform, and also guys, go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto Was the Hope of the Uchiha clan over an Anime King, and enjoy that guys. And remember, if you're new, to go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and support. Remember to share to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also guys, stay in tune for a brand new episode coming over from Anime King 2, which I hope you guys will enjoy. So yeah, without further ado, what is to begin this new episode? Start the intro. So the last part we left off, Hinata woke up as she saw Naruto lying there. As she realized what she had done in the moment, she couldn't stop herself. As she drew one of her kunais and stabbed him right in the chest. But he shrugged it off like it was nothing. He could not be killed in the way that he was. As Hinata rather kill herself though than anyone find out that she let him do this to her. If her clan, if Minma, she couldn't look back at them if she ever let them find out this. But Naruto was able to subdue her as he made his way to Konoha with her. The moment he got in range, everyone is alerted. The envoys, Minato, Minma, as they flashed towards the position rather quickly, as Naruto stood at the gate, ready to embark, as he tossed Hinata down and told them that he took something from her that Minma would never be able to get. The group was shocked as Tsunade took Hinata and brought her away. She had dealt with a lot of people in the war that got violated, so she was the best person to help Hinata through this. Minma was pissed off, but he was stopped by Minato from intervening. As Naruto stood there, he looked like his guard was not up, but he was ready to pounce at any moment. But then the unthinkable happened, as Naruto felt pain, unending pain that he never felt before. Jashin and the Kyuubi betrayed him. As Naruto didn't understand why they were doing this, he begged, he pleaded to them to stop this, but they told him that he was a pawn that they were using. And in the end, he served his worth, and no, he was gonna be disposed of like trash. As that broke Naruto, that is what they needed. It broke him so badly that Jashin was able to break through him, to use him as a conduit so that he could rise. As she rised toward the surface, as Jashin felt it as she exited the seal, no longer bound by the mere viewing this world, she could walk this world, she could feel it, the power. But yet she felt weak, incredibly so. As Naruto was weakened to the point where he could barely move, he couldn't even move. Because of them coming out of him, it sapped so much of his powers, even his eyes returned back to normal. Even his hair was starting to fall out a bit. As Naruto stood there shocked, unable to talk or anything. They fled, as Jashin turned towards Zen and told her that we had to get out of here. As they were moving though, Zen found herself crying, black tears. But she wiped them away. As his job was over, he wouldn't get his revenge, but at least he did a lot of things. He had a wonderful time. She tried to kill herself. Minma dropped right on Naruto as he slammed her Rasengan right in Naruto's chest, ripping it open. But yet Naruto refused to die. As just because he left him so quickly, his body was still acclimating with the darkness. So his heart, his wounds, they start to heal over. But they will find a way to kill him as they took him away, as Minato locked Naruto up in a seal that will forever keep him there, unknowing that the last time what happened. But this time, they wanted a public execution. All of the family members that were lost, the clan heads, they wanted to be there. At the arena where the Chunin exams were kept, they were going to publicly execute Naruto. For the population that wanted to be there, the monster was finally going to be put towards all his crimes, and he was going to be slaughtered. As Naruto was locked away, Kushina came to him as she told him that she was disgusted by him and his actions for what he did to Hinata. But Naruto didn't really seem to care. He told her that he wanted to die, as Naruto didn't see the point of living anymore. If the ones that he loved so much turned to betray him, what was the point? He just wanted to die and get it over with. As he asked when was the execution, as he was told, as he just sat there waiting for his death. On the other hand, Gaara felt something. The link that he had between them was weakening, and she knew exactly where he was as he rushed towards the village. Minato thought that it was gonna be peaceful until the time came, but when black sand started raining down on the villagers, that is when he realized that something was wrong. So yeah guys, so basically that's what I thought. If you guys can switch across the plate, check it out for yourself. So to begin this new episode, Zena returned back to her human form after she just carried Jashin all the way out here. She took her in her arms bridal style, as they were at the mountain areas where Naruto had taken over. All of the members were gone. All of the members that remained were gone. Gaara had took them. They didn't mind that there was Zena place Jashin down in the bed, as Jashin felt incredibly weak. This is not normal. Your strength should have returned by now, said Zena. Yes, it's Naruto. With him still being alive, we are still connected. I couldn't kill him myself. I guess you were right. After all this time, perhaps I do care a little bit about him. I knew it, said Zena. Despite what or who you are, no one could ever care so little about someone that gave everything to them. It doesn't matter now, said Jashin. The Konoha ninjas will kill him soon enough, and once he dies, I will regain everything. At the moment, all the souls over the past years of being with Naruto, which was a lot, I am unable to tap into their power. I can feel them though brimming underneath the surface. But with Naruto still alive, it's like a shield, a wall, stopping me from engaging with what I deserve, returning me back to my rightful power. Even my own power has been scrapped down into half. I hate feeling this vulnerable, feeling this weak. You don't have to worry about anything. As long as I'm here, no one will harm you. I have little doubt in that, said Jashin as she turned towards Zena. But he needs to die. He needs to die soon because I will not stay like this forever. Feeling so weak is troublesome to me. I've never felt so weak in my entire life. What if he doesn't die, said Zena. What if he ends up somehow absorbing their souls? That wouldn't be possible. We might have fused together for that brief moment, but he doesn't have that ability. Although in the past, half of that power had been cut towards his skills and his strength. When he had killed those Uchihas, he had gotten a lot stronger, because their souls had provided him with a boost of strength, speed and reflex. But that was all he got. I got the raw essence of their soul, to magnify my being and my body. But with the way I was just a spectre in this world. I wasn't able to fully contact or make any real connection, but now that I have this body, this technically human body, the more soul I will absorb, the more powerful I will get. And all those souls are waiting for me. The moment he does die, they all will return back to me, she said. Now I just have to wait. I can feel his life force slipping away. His doubt, his shame, his guilt, his fear, his anger. Everything. It's going null and empty. What about Gaara? What if it doesn't matter. She might be strong, including the other followers, but they stand no chance against Konoha. And once they do realize that people are coming to save him, they won't waste any time and they will kill him a lot quicker. I thought that they would kill him the instant that they saw that he was vulnerable. But it seems that they don't learn from their past mistake. But this time he will die. With you and I separating from him, his power has been cut severely. Not to mention his system is all messed up. It will take at least weeks, or probably days, for him to return back to normal. At the moment, he couldn't use a single drop of chakra, even though he has it. He's severely weak, and there's nothing that he can do to prevent his death. Zena sat down as she looked towards the far wall. Don't tell me that you're worried, said Jashin. I feel bad. What you did to me, it makes me only seem to care for you. I want to please you and make you happy, but still, I remember who Naruto was, and what he did for us. The love that he had for us, and we just betrayed him like that. But to make you happy, I would do anything. I would betray him tens of thousands of times. That's how much I care about you, said Zena. And that you should, said Jashin. Meanwhile, at Konoha, moments before Gaara arrived, as Hinata had woken up, everything around her was like a blur. So many people had come to visit her. Minma, many others. They tried to comfort her, tried to put her mind at ease, but yet she was fine. But she couldn't act like she was completely fine because they would know that something was up. She was shocked to her core that Naruto told them that he was the one that forced himself on her when she accepted it. Why? Why would he do something like that? But the more shocking news was when Minma told her that they captured the bastard. Minma told her that they had him in custody and they were gonna publicly execute him. He spoke to his father as he had the right to take him down after what he did to her. Hinata was shocked because when she heard that, a part of her didn't want him to die. A part of her wanted him to be free out there in the open, because there was this part of her that longed for his touch once again. A part of her that she despised, but she couldn't act against her feelings. Every time she tried to squash them, every time Minma hugged her, to hold her and told her that she was alright, she kept on seeing Naruto, seeing him instead of Minma, feeling his touch, feeling his hot breath whisper amongst her ears, feeling his hand riding down her back. She was snapped from her thoughts when she heard explosions. As she quickly moved towards the window, as Snavi came in the room. Lady Snavi, what's going on? Seems like we're being attacked again, Snavi said rather irritatedly, as this was happening more than once and it was getting on her nerves. What now? Meanwhile, outside, all of the remaining Jashin members spread as they slaughter. They didn't hesitate as Gaara gave them the order to move. They enjoyed it as they laughed in pure glee and joy. They tore, they ripped, they bit. They did anything to experience the joy of seeing someone lose that light in their eyes. On the other hand, a massive wave of sand from the opposite direction. Black sand came crushing down on Konoha. The force was immense. As the things toppled trees, buildings, ninjas spread far and wide as they watched that body of black sand merge together and create a massive beast. The one-tailed Shikaku. From what Naruto did to her, Gaara found out that she could release the Shikaku's power and be away from it, not for too long but for 10 or 20 minutes, while it caused chaos. And that is exactly what Gaara did, as she used her sand to dig into the ground where she could sense Naruto. She dig, breaking through the Anvu prison. As she breathed inside, instantly her sand spread out and squashed, ripping Anvu's apart as she did not hesitate as she moved, reaching towards the deepest, darkest barracks. She destroyed all of the cells with the other captives inside, freeing the captives, some sickos that had did some horrible things in the past. Nothing as horrible as Naruto, but they were freed as they started to run and create chaos as well. The ninjas were all occupied as outside Minato was facing off against the massive beasts. Luckily, Jiraiya had come back to the village. Minato and Jiraiya were spread in opposite direction as both of them flashed through several hand signs. All of the ninjas, Minma, flashed in front of Shikaku and slammed. A Rasengan right in his face, he flashed away before the sand could impale him. Several chains burst through Shikaku, and several from the other end, Mito and Kushina yanked the chains, ripping into the great, massive beast, tearing it. As Minato and Jiraiya finished their hand sign and slammed their hand down, a massive ceiling array spread as it created a barrier that trapped the Shikaku inside. The thing roared as it clashed against the barrier like a wild animal, but no matter what it did, it could not get out of it. As Minato saw the chaos around his village, he pulled several kunais and threw them. As he flashed through hand signs, those kunais multiplied, Minma doing the same thing as they flashed away in a storm. Bodies were dropped as they beheaded all the Jashin members, but to their utter shock they got back up. They had to literally skewer them. Snavi appeared, she drive her fist in one of their faces, blowing his head clean off. Jiraiya took on 3 of them as they brought their slides down. He leaped away as it crashed into the ground. Chaos was unfolding everywhere. Meanwhile that was going on, several other ninjas were quickly rushing down towards the Anvu base. As a wall of sand slammed into them with tremendous force, bones were broken, necks were snapped. As Gaara finally found him, she saw the wall. She saw the wall as her sand reached and crashed into it, breaking it down. As Gaara saw him, his eyes were covered, so was his mouth, as he was chained up to the wall with so much steel. As Naruto could sense her, she was here. He struggled against his bonds. He was trying to tell her to stop. As he tried to tell her to stop as her sand moved forward, her sand slammed right into the bars. At that very moment, Minato came to a stop as he saw the steel in his arm start to glow. His eyes went frantic. He flashed away instantly. He appeared in a second as Gaara moved. A long slice, slashing across her face. Lucky enough, she was able to step back, as she didn't get her throat slashed. Her sand moved forward to grab Minato, but the man flipped out of the way. The space was tight and hard to fight as he created a Rasengan. Without hesitation, he launched forward. As Gaara brought up a wall of sand, his Rasengan slammed right into it. The sand turned into projectiles and shot forward, forcing him to flash away. Gaara did not hesitate as she sent her sand into the surrounding area into the walls, breaking down the material as she corroded the walls with her sand, tearing apart the walls, breaking them down. With the walls being torn apart from the outside, the seals on the inside became null and void as the walls dropped, leaving only the cell wall. Gaara turned as she raised her arms just in time as a large gash appeared in her arms before a kick slammed right into her chest. She crashed right to the wall, dropping. As Naruto struggled against his bindings, she was in trouble. He had to do something. She came here to save him. As he twisted his arms trying to break out of the chains, but he felt so weak, so horribly weak he could barely feel his chakra. He couldn't feel the darkness anymore. He couldn't tap into those demonic powers. He was screwed. As he heard Gaara cried out in pain as a Rasengan slammed right into her side. As Naruto screamed in frustration, his eyes turned black for a second as a wall of darkness exploded from his body. Minato saw it coming as he flashed away as he saw the thing was coming towards him in a negative reaction. As Naruto got up, the bindings and chains had corroded away. Gaara, as he rushed towards her, she was down as she coughed up blood. Naruto picked her up in his arms. He had to get her out of here. "You're okay," she said. "Don't worry, I'll get you somewhere safe." As Naruto looked towards her, as he realized something at that very moment. Throughout everything, he saw her as a companion. Someone to help him, someone that was just like him. But she was there for him through thick and thin. Even willing to come down here to die for him. What was this feeling? It was similar to what he felt for Jashin and Senna. Did he love Gaara? He never thought about that. In all actuality, he just saw her as someone to be a close companion with, someone that he knew that would never betray him. But throughout everything, she was there. As she held on to him, her side had a nasty gash wound in it. Her other side impaled. She had a lot of slashes on her arm as she was losing blood fast. But something like this would not kill her. He just had to get her somewhere safe. As Naruto moved as fast as he could. "No, you don't." He heard the voice appear behind him as he turned. He shielded Gaara as a Rasengan smashed into his back, launching him forward as he broke right through the wall. He still held on to Gaara. As Naruto dropped to his knees, a brutal kick smashed into his face, launching him backwards. As his body broke into the wall, standing there furiously was Minma. His father was up on the surface, preparing for Naruto to exit with Gaara, because he would not leave. A barrier was already set up as Naruto could not penetrate that in his weakened state. But Minma had placed a Harushin tag on Naruto. Yes, he did. The moment when he slammed that Rasengan into his stomach, so to make sure that if he was gonna die, he was gonna be the one to kill him. "Finally, you monster!" As Gaara got up and fired, several sandbombs made of sand towards him, but Minma flashed away. As he appeared, a bone-crushing kick slamming into Naruto that threw him as he slammed right into Gaara, hitting her head against the wall. As Minma laughed, as Naruto turned towards her to check if she was okay. Gaara, he said, but she was barely responding, her eyes looking quite foggy. she was losing more blood. And with the Shikaku outside trap, the power being away from her for too long, she could die. As Naruto glared towards Minma, who threw a kunai right into Naruto's chest. As Naruto cried out in pain, Minma flashed behind him and grabbed the kunai and carved it straight up in his face, creating a nasty gash from his left eye going straight up as Naruto cried out in pain. Minma slammed his knee into Naruto's face, breaking Naruto's nose. He then tossed Naruto over to the side. He smirked triumphantly until his arm was grabbed. He looked to see Gaara getting back up as a sand arm grabbed his arm and snapped it. He cried out in agonizing pain before flashing away as he appeared right beside Naruto and stomped into Naruto's face. He then threw a kunai towards Gaara. As it embedded in her sand, he flashed and slammed the Rasengan into her arm. As she cried out in pain as he groined right into it, ripping her arm clean off. He picked her up by her face and slammed her head first into the wall, bursting her head. He then grabbed her by the throat. "No!" said Naruto, as Minma tossed a kunai that pierced into Naruto's throat. As Naruto started to guard the blood seeping from his throat. "Watch as I take everything from you," said Minma. "You took Hinata. You forced yourself on her, you monster!" As Naruto watched as Gaara looked at him. What was that?" said Minma. "Were you gonna say you love him? Monsters like you people don't deserve love." As Naruto's eyes became murderous. "I'm gonna kill you." "Kill me? You're mistaken. Can't you see the situation that we're in? You're nothing but a pathetic scum that's about to die. Not before you watch." A Rasengan formed in his palm as he tainted with the remaining Kyuubi power that he had inside of him. It turned purple. As Gaara looked towards Naruto with a smile. Despite the blood and agonizing pain in her face, he saw a warm, happy smile. A smile that made him feel joy. And that was the last that he saw as Minma Rasengan tear into her heart. Naruto screamed out in frustration and rage. As Minma removed her by moving back his shoulder because he couldn't use his broken arm. He had pushed up in the wall with his shoulder. As a gaping hole had been blown straight through her chest, her body dropped. On purpose, Minma kicked her right in the face, damaging her face as Naruto scrabbled straight over towards her. "Gaara! Gaara!" he cried. Tears literally leaked from his eyes. He couldn't tell the last time he cried. For someone else. Gaara. But she was not waking up. Now you understand what pain is. What suffering is. I've never given a damn about what you went through when you were younger. Our parents had a right to treat you like a monster because you were a monster. And I always saw you as one. I never saw you as my brother. Just a heartless monster who deserved to die. And today, I'll get my wish because you will die. As Naruto looked down towards Gaara without saying another word, he then slowly mumbled something. "What was that?" said Minma, as he couldn't hear. As Naruto had pulled the kunai from his throat. Despite the injuries, his throat was healing slowly as Minma noticed that. What the hell it took to kill this damn demon? He grabbed Naruto by his throat, forcefully pushing him away from Gaara because Naruto did not have the strength to fight him back. As Naruto tried to feel for that hidden darkness, but yet, he couldn't feel it anymore. It was a one-shot deal, he realized. As Minma stabbed a kunai through Naruto's stomach, as he twisted. Now do you understand pain? But yet Naruto did not cry out in pain. He laughed. He laughed as loudly as he could. "You finally lost it, haven't you, monster?" "I just realized something," said Naruto, as he spat. "You took it. And what was that?" "The final thing I care about in this world," said Naruto. "You know, I lost some people to me. They were very important, well, at least I thought they were. But in the end, they betrayed me." "Scum deserve to be betrayed," said Minma. "You know, brother, this is a good thought that we're having," said Naruto. "Good talk? I'm gonna kill you," said Minma. "Yes, And I want you to do that, said Naruto. Because I'll tell you right here and now, this thing that everyone is so worried about in this world, that is known as death, it can't hold me. I'll find a way to come back. As Naruto's tone was low and yet it was chilling. And when I do, I'll rain hell on everything. I will burn this earth. I will slaughter. And this time I won't hesitate. I won't wait. I will come forward. I will take what you hold precious, brother. I'll take Hinata. And there's not a damn thing you can do. Minma slapped him across the face before he unsealed a blade as he grabbed Naruto by the throat and stabbed it through Naruto's stomach, pinning him to the wall. Minma clenched his fist as he beat it severely in Naruto's face over and over and over until Naruto's left eye was swollen shut. His mouth was burst wide open. He couldn't even close anymore, his teeth were gone. His right eye was pulsing out like it was about to break away at any moment. But yet still he laughed. Why are you laughing? Minma said. Because I'm gonna enjoy it when I do come back. And I assure you, brother, I will. So you better kill me and enjoy while you're doing it. Because once I do come back, I'm gonna enjoy having fun with you and everyone else. Minma ripped the sword out of him as he grabbed Naruto by the collar and dragged his face along the wall. As he pulled him straight up to the surface, outside a barrier was covering the entire place as Minma threw him down towards the ground. Kushina's eyes went wide when she saw Naruto's face, not to mention his arms. His arms were mangled and broken badly as Minma purposely stomped on them before coming up here, several slashes in his face. As Mito turned away as she felt like she was gonna puke, Minma was covered in blood. But Minato did not say anything as Jiraiya stood there. They were the only ones inside the barrier. Outside, the clan heads and the others were gathered, as they had fully sealed away the Shikaku into a massive array. It would not hold it forever, but it would hold it for now. As Minma looked down towards Naruto, as Naruto got to his knees. It's been a long time, sister, he said. Surprisingly, he was still able to talk despite his lip being completely torn off. Showing his teeth, he looked like a monster. I'm not your sister, said Mito. Huh. Yeah, let me guess. You wouldn't be the sister of a monster, said Naruto. After what you did. You disgust me, she said. No, Lady Hinata, as they all turned. Hinata stood there. Hinata, what are you doing here, said Minma. As Naruto looked towards Hinata and he tried to smile. As Hinata just looked at him with her dead eyes, Minma thought that she was suffering for seeing him once again. As Minma brutally kicked Naruto across the face. As Naruto crashed face first on the ground, Hinata jumped. A slight movement as she looked towards Naruto, who slowly got back up towards his knees. Minato did not utter a single word. He was letting this go on. Perhaps it was redemption for what Naruto did. For Minma to exact revenge on him, neither Jiraiya, neither of them said anything. As Naruto slowly, shakily got up, he tried to at least, but he fell back down face first, as he laughed. What's so funny, said Mito. You're gonna die. You might as well tell us. After all you did, do you feel any remorse? You monster, she said, as she looked him dead in the eyes. Remorse? That has been beaten out of me a long time ago, said Naruto. I do have something to say, however. Be quiet, said Minma. No one wants to hear your final words. Oh, I assure you that you want to, said Naruto. As he saw the people around gathered at the barrier, a lot of them to be exact, the clan heads, civilians who were calling for his death. As Naruto was on his last leg. People of Konoha! As he paused, a long, dramatic pause, not saying a word. I know you want me dead, he spoke up after a while. After all I did, rip your families to pieces. But look at me now, I'm pathetic. I can't even defend myself. And I just lost the one person that I actually care for anymore. And yet I felt... The feeling, it was alien to me, because I never felt it before. Once I gained this darkness, I stopped feeling remorse and pain, but now my heart is breaking. Perhaps it's because of the stress and all the beatings. But I feel immense pain for her. And Minma, I knew I took something from you, which you could never regain from Hinata. Something that you will forever hate me for. Don't think that this is an apology. This is a warning. All of you out there, I hope you can hear me clearly. This won't stop me. As Minato stepped forward, I assure you, father, look me in the eyes, said Naruto. This won't stop me, mother, sister, brother. Even you, perfect sage, said Naruto. As Jerry looked at him, remember these words. Even you two. Jashin! Zanahi screamed to the heavens. This won't stop me. I'll be back. And when I do, pray to Kami. Pray to whoever you worship. That you're long dead by then. Because I'm gonna burn. I'm gonna rip. I'm gonna tear everything down. I'm gonna burn this world down to the smallest grain. I'm gonna make you all suffer unimaginable pain that you never thought is possible. Enough, said Minma. Mito. Chains extended from Mito. As Kushina had to turn her head. She couldn't watch this even after all he did. She just couldn't watch this. As she saw Minma being someone so cold, it hurt her heart. But she knew what Naruto did and he deserved it. The chains impaled Naruto's arms and lifted him up. Minato stood there as he looked towards Minma. He gave him a stern look. I have to do this, father. If I don't, I can't go on. I can't go on if I don't. Minato placed a hand on Minma's shoulder as he looked towards his son. The one that he disowned. I'm sorry that things went down this path. Don't be, said Naruto. Soon enough I'll be back. There's no coming back from death, Naruto, said Minato. As Kushina stepped forward with a heavy heart. We're sorry how things turned out. But there's no stopping this after all you've done. As she glanced towards Hinata, who had tears in her eyes. They thought that she was crying because of the situation, but they were all wrong. She was crying as seeing her to die. As Naruto looked towards her, as he gave her a small smirk, remember what I said. I do what I want. And I do it. Enough, Minma said as he moved. His hand slammed right on Naruto's chest. He then started to gather the chakra for the Rasengan. But given the fact that his hand was on Naruto's chest, the Rasengan was being built instead of Naruto. Naruto cried out in pain as the first thing to go. Because of the rotation of powers in his eyeballs, that exploded. As his body started to swell as Minma pumped his chakra inside of Naruto. I hope you burn in hell. The violent output of chakra exploded, forcing everyone to shield their eyes at the gruesome scene, because that was the only way to kill him, by obliterating his body. As Naruto's guts spread, it flashed on Minma, who didn't even flinch, and Minato as well. As Kushina looked down, his body was exploded from the inside. Organs, limbs were blown off clean. Meanwhile, Jashin's eyes snapped open as Zana lifted her head up from the bed, as Jashin had fallen asleep. Something that she was unable to do at first, but now she was able to sleep. He's gone. As Zana started to cry, despite she was able to fully submit to Jashin and do whatever she asked. The pain of knowing that Naruto was gone just struck her badly, as Jashin realized that Zana cared for Naruto more than she thought. But over the past years, she has completely merged her with her tainted darkness. So right now she belonged to her, but yet still she was grieving for Naruto. Was a connection that strong? As she had no doubt, if she had the right set of mind, she would not atone to this plan. But that was gone now, and he was dead, and there was no bringing him back. As Jashin screamed to the heavens, a scream of pure love and joy, as darkness seeped into her being from everywhere. As she then relaxed back on the bed, her eyes opened up, showing a bright, pitch black emptiness. As she looked towards her hand, but then she frowned. What's wrong? I don't know. All the souls that I've gathered so far with Naruto, they're not coming to me. What do you mean they're not coming to you? I got my power back, my original power. I'm more than strong enough to crush anyone in my path now, but all those souls, all those hatred. Remember, Naruto tortured every single one of them. And the more tortured the soul is, it cannot rest. So it's more powerful. All the Uchihas, hundreds of thousands of people that he has murdered. Probably even up to the millions. Over the past 3 years of Naruto going missing, his darkness had been seeping over to random villages, swallowing them whole, and many people died. But those souls were not coming to her. She was confused. What happened? I don't know. Jashin was starting to worry because this was rather concerning. If they did not come to her, where did they go? Time skip, Konoha. Minma stood as he watched the bodies burn. Gaara, in there as well, as their bodies burned into ashes. All of the Jashin members, their bodies were reduced to dust. As he stood there, unblinking, unfazed, he finally did it. He got rid of the monster. He walked away, as he found Hinata sitting by herself. As he sat down beside her, she was quiet, and so was he, neither of them saying anything. He's gone, Minma said after a few tense moments. He's finally gone. I know I can't reverse what he did to you, but I will be here by your side, through everything. And I'll help you get through it, I promise. As he took her hand, she took his hand. As she just looked at his hand, she looked up at his face, and she no longer saw Naruto. Her mind was just accepting that he was now gone, because she watched it in front of her eyes. But his words, they echoed through her mind. I'll be back. I do what I want. I take what I want. But she saw him die. And how could someone come back from that? Tears started to leak from her eyes as Minma held her, thinking that she was sad for the wrong reason, not knowing why she was truly sad, as he just held her, and he held her in his arms. As people saw her crying, they felt remorse, sadness, of what that monster did to her. Even her father looked at her with pain eyes. But at least that monster was gone, and he was never, ever coming back. Time skip. What? Sasuke was shocked to his core, as he couldn't believe what he was hearing. Sasuke felt lost, utterly lost. The masked man stood in front of him. Sasuke was silent for a long while, as he just received the news that Naruto was dead. The one thing that he wanted in his world was now gone. His revenge. He would no longer have it, because Naruto was dead. He was supposed to be the one to kill him. Sasuke felt broken, utterly broken, knowing that he would never had a chance to get his revenge for what that monster did to his clan, his mother, his father, his brother. He would never get his revenge. There is still a way, Sasuke. You remember what I told you in the past? That illusion, Sasuke said. Yes. Through everything, you had had it worse. You lost your clan. You lost everything. They might lose a few members, but you lost everything, Sasuke. That is why you need to help me. We need to continue with our goal of putting everyone in a peaceful sleep. You can have your family back, your brother, your mother and father. I can make it like they never died. As the masked man smirked as he saw that Sasuke was broken by the news. But Konoha and the other nations will try to fight us, Sasuke. That is why. You'll have to fight against your friends, the ones that you grew up with, and maybe even kill them. Because in my world, all of them will be alive. All of them will be happy. Your wildest dreams will be a reality. So what do you say, Sasuke, the masked man asks, as he held out his hand towards Uchiha. who had nothing left. Meanwhile, Xana was asleep on the bed. Jashin was standing on the roof. She had felt it in the last moments of his death. The both of them had felt and heard what he said. It seems that sadness had turned into rage, but there was no possible way of him doing anything about it. But still, as she raised her hand up and pointed towards one of the small buildings nearby, as darkness seeped from her palm, in the next second the building started to corrode as it was turned into dust. She had her power back, but all those souls that would have made her a lot more powerful in this human form were now just gone. As she wondered if her brother was able to take them in her weakness. Yes, that must be the case. There is no other explanation. She knew that Naruto's soul was not going to go to her brother. With the both of them bonding, Naruto's soul was going to be extinguished after his death. He would have no sense of where he was or nothing. He would just be gone. Perhaps that was the right way, a fitting end for their greatest hero that they were going to make him. Yet she couldn't help but feel a pain in her chest that she messed up. Gaining this human body gave her more emotions. Emotions that she never acted on, because while she was in the seal, she knew that she was doing something wrong, but she did not care because she was a demon. A powerful, lustful demon of darkness and depths which no one could understand. But now, she connected with Naruto and she felt some of his past emotions, his fear when he was younger, his sadness, his grief. She got some of it and she hated it. She was gonna find a way to get rid of it, but right now she could not, as she couldn't help as black tears fall from her eyes. She was crying once again, something that she hated the most, crying because of what happened. She shouldn't be crying, as she scoffed in disgust. She never cried before, and she never need to. She didn't have such feelings. She was a beast. She was things that people fear, the darkness of the night. And now that she had her body, she would do what she wanted in this world, where there was so much lust, so much chaos that happened, and no one, absolutely no one can stop her. Perhaps in the near future, she would visit Konoha. Perhaps she would visit them and do what Naruto wanted to do, by ending her life in the most miserable way possible. But until then, she would just have some fun. After all, that was the main reason of coming here. Meanwhile, Gaara found herself in somewhere empty. Yet the thing that was standing in front of her did not scare her. Perhaps it's because that she's been with Naruto and Jashin. She still didn't know what happened, but this thing just told her what happened. Gaara was pissed, rightfully so. How could Jashin and Xana do that? How could they betray him after everything? But there wasn't anything she could do about it. But she had to ask, where is he now? You. He was the one that connected your souls together, to give you a taste of his power. That is why your soul ended up here, said Shinigami, as he looked towards Gaara. But he was too submerged with my sister, that is why. After his death, beings like us, we don't have an afterlife, we simply vanish. Although, our death, our numbers of years cannot be counted by your human mouth, because time is null void here. Because we are beings past time. We are beings past anything that you can ever imagine. But Naruto, he still have a touch of human within him. Because once all that power was stripped away, he was weakened like a normal human. But I'm afraid now he's gone, never to be seen ever again. As Gaara dropped to her knees, she lost him. Not even in the afterlife she would ever see him again. She slammed her fist into the ground. She wasn't strong enough to help him. She was too weak to save him. And now he was gone, as she started to cry. It is time for your judgment, said Shinigami. Your soul is tainted, and it will not be cleansed so easily. As the man turned, as Gaara saw, the ground opened up. So this is where it ends, huh? She said to herself. Well, it has been fun. It was wonderful. She met someone that she loved, that she truly cared about, unlike her brothers and sisters, unlike her father or anyone else in her life. It was amazing, and she enjoyed spending time with him. But now it was over. As she stepped forward, stepping to her feet. But then suddenly the place started to shake. Gaara was confused. What's going on? Even the Shinigami looked shocked as arms broke from the earth. The Shinigami looked at the arms with a perplexed gaze as he raised his arm to stop the dead, but he could not control them. Gaara screamed as she was grabbed as she was yanked under the earth. Vanish. The Shinigami was confused. What just? He blinked as he felt his sister's power. He vanished. I wonder how long it will take you, brother, to find me, said Jashin, as she sat on the roof. So you've done it. You've managed to gain a foot into the outside world. No longer a spectator like myself. You can now interact fully with humans and do as you please. Yes. And now I will be the one to take your souls. Forcefully, if I must. Rip it out of them and enjoy as I do. You'll be damaging the balance, sister. Your balance. I don't need you anymore. I can take over for the dead and swallow their souls as they die, giving none of them any rest. Things are not supposed to happen this way. You were always a stickler for the rules. But I don't care. After everything I've been through, I deserve this. After everything you've been through? You mean betraying the one that you come to care about? What? That pathetic human? Seems you don't know me at all, brother. No. I could feel it. Strangely enough, you find care for the human. But you want to know something, sister. In his last moments, he didn't care about you. He only cared about that red head. In his last moments, he wanted to burn you into ash and laugh. You and the other fox. In his last moments, his heart was no longer there. He lost his mind. You broke him, sister. That was the plan all along. Yet you feel sad about it. Why, sister? I thought you were supposed to be the darkness that doesn't care about anyone, that only admire lust, agony, and suffering. And I do. Stop trying to twist my head like you always do. You can't mess with me out here because you cannot set a foot in this world. What did you do to the girl? Her soul. She had belonged to me. What the hell are you talking about? You took her. Me took who? You're the one we should be talking to about taking. Where was the thousands, hundreds of thousands of souls that Naruto put in anguish? That power. That would be so much more immense than what I could ever dreamed of. All the soul in pain. The Uchihas. All of the people that he ripped to pieces while showing them their insides as they died. Their anguished soul, I've been keeping them at bay to swallow them once I become human, but now they're gone. You took them from me, and you have the right to ask me about what I took from you? Jashin noticed her brother's face. You did not? I have no idea what you're talking about. I did not take anything from you. Have you gone senile as well? Wait. You're telling me you didn't take the souls? No. So if you didn't take them, then who did? No, that's impossible, said Jashin. After a being like us die, we vanish. And after merging myself with him, he became a fraction. She looked toward the side. What have you done, sister? Said the Shinigami. No, it's impossible. It wouldn't work like that. That boy, said the Shinigami. In his last moments, I felt something unholy inside of him. Something even darker than us. I wasn't worried because he would be vanished after his death. But if this is correct, and if somehow he managed to take those souls with him, because I cannot feel his presence anywhere. Be quiet! I'm the one that is out here and you're trapped away. Just to watch and observe, and I will do what I want, as I said. And doesn't matter. If he's somehow alive, he wouldn't be able to return back to this plane. Unless he was able to absorb all of those souls. To break through the barrier. That's impossible. No one has ever known to do something like that. You gave a man something that he's always wanted. and take it away right afterwards. He would fight with everything he has to get it back. You never make him get his revenge. A soul cannot rest when they have unfinished business. And what I felt from him, the desire to burn everything, the desire to rip everything to shreds. And not to mention the redhead that went missing in my grasp. No one has ever taken something away from me. Not even you can do that. So tell me, sister, do you believe that somehow he's alive? He can't be, said Jashin. Meanwhile, Gaara was confused and she didn't know what was going on. One moment she was talking to Shinigami and next moment she was here. A place where there was nothing but fire. She heard screams of anguish and death. As she was just walking and following the path, she did not know where she was or what was going on, yet she knew that she must follow this path. As she walked and walked and walked and walked, until she heard footsteps, she came to a stop. Her eyes went wide to what she saw, coming towards her. No. Is it possible? But guys, me and subscribe right here. If you want the next person, do like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn the bell notifications to be posted. Remember to share all of your friends in social media platform. And also, guys, stay tuned for the rest of what is coming your way, and I hope you guys enjoy each and every one of them. And also, go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto Was a Hope of the Uchiha Clan. I hope you guys enjoy over on Anime King. And yeah, I'm off for now. See you guys soon. Peace, guys.